Now we'll start with technical session 4 and I request Assistant Professor Kajal Gala ma'am to present her paper.
A warm welcome to one and all present over here. I, Ms. Kajal Gala, have taken a research topic, survival of industries during the major crisis. Now, when I see in the today's competitive business environment, although the industries have sufficient resources, but yet their survival is not assured. There are the several reasons why the business fail to achieve their goals. They might not be having the essential resources, there is a shortage of a capital, labor, and even the various other requirements because of which they are not able to survive. These are not the only reasons. We have a number of the reasons for their why they are not surviving. When we look at the previous economic downfall, we can notice the market eventually bounces back after the end of the pandemic crisis. So, in order to extend a runway, business can take an approach. They can even ask their investors for the additional funding as well. Since we have been through a various crises this year, I would have picked a subject to do research about the crisis in the finance. Basically, this article will be focusing more on the how the people or how the industries, small firms, survive during this crisis. So this research is all about the history of a major financial crisis which were been faced and what was the outcome of it and how the survivors survived during this time, whether it was a pandemic or whether it was a world war or any epidemic which bursted out. The objective of my studies are to find out the various ways to survive the major financial crisis, to know the significance of the industry's impact on the financial world, and to observe through the history and learn that whatever mistake which was been done in the past, that mistake should not get repeat again into the future. When I when it comes to introduction, I will say that economic crises are unpredictable, but it is unevitable occurrence. It is impacting the world economics very harsh while causing various outcomes. Rarely, even after 2008 mortgage crisis, it leads to a devastation of the global financial markets, ultimately causing the economic biggest downfall in the history. For this purpose, I have collected a data from a secondary research to just find out the profitability result. The questions were asked to the respondent and the data was then collected. This paper follows the crisis in the financial market and the survival industries and companies. We got to see a many business strategies and the aspects that showed how during this period every company survived, what are the consequences they suffered, how they got disrupted, and eventually after that how they have gained the profit. What was their attitude towards the goals, how they have achieved their goals, what was the challenging things which came into the runway, and how they have challenged them, how they survived miserably at the end. And even after a downfall, a small businessman survived through this crisis. The suggestion for going through this past history, I will like to focus more on the strategies to tackle a very big as well as a small hurdle into the market. There are level of the strategies. We can merge it up, we can sell the commodities, survive in the utility product, grasping the customer's attention, never letting the customers to take a choice of the competitors or the company. So these are the basic steps which we should follow. These all are the references from where I have taken this research paper content, and thank you so much.
Thank you. I now request Krish Mali and Mushraf Malim to present their papers.
Greeting to one and all, I am Mushraf Malim and this is my research partner Krish Malim. We have done our research paper on topic how entrepreneur can set effective goals. So here is the details. As I said, goal setting is the process of identifying what you want to achieve and then establishing a strategy to get there. So to get there, we have found some characteristic for the goal setting. Here are the few characteristics of goal setting. Here you can create an action plan, writing down your goals on paper, setting a deadline and scheduling a comprehensive plan. I hope this could help you achieve effective goals for entrepreneurship.
All entrepreneurs face problems. These are some barriers faced by entrepreneurs. Financial barrier. Finance is like fuel to the business. So without a good amount of finance, you can't start a business. Environmental barrier. There are five resources which are required for a good startup. 5 M's: money, material, manpower, machinery, and methods. Political barrier. As government changes after every 5 years, the policies changes. So this leads to conclusion. To sum up, I am confident that I will achieve my objectives to become a successful entrepreneur. This is due to the fact that I have precise actions planned in place to help me achieve my goals.
Here is a quote by Ratan Tata. I don't believe in taking right decision. I take decision and make them right. It's a good and inspirational quote for all of our new entrepreneurs to starting into their business.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I now request Preksha Bapna to present her papers.
Good evening, everyone. I am Preksha Bapna from SYBMS A Division, Roll number 2, and I am here to give my project on communication gap. Starting with the introduction, communication is one of the most important things that must be considered in order to improve an organization or individual performance. It is critical not only in obtaining a job but also in performing the job effectively. Characteristics. Actually, there are two main types of communication. First is the management communication that includes business plans, strategic documents, procedures, and work instructions. Second category is information dissemination internally and also externally, such as press release for public relation, newsletter, and as well as wall displays. Conclusion. Among the success factor of a program such as Lean implemented in the company is dependent on the effectiveness of the communications among all level of employees. Suggestions. To bridge the communication gap, the following can be given consideration. First, try reaching out staffers when you don't need anything. For example,
Thank you. I now request Adit Tambe and Zainab Sayed to present their papers.
A hearty welcome to one and all present over here. Today, me, Zainab Sayed, with my partner Adit Tambe, are here to present you our research paper on the topic Conflict Management in Education Institute. So, conflict happens on normal basis in an education institution, organization, and even in small businesses. So, here are some objectives that why we researched on this topic. To study various conflict resolution strategies in an institute, also to suggest suitable measures how to overcome conflicts happening in an institute. Also, we searched on how to implement the procedures to conflict management in an education institution. Moving on to abstract, our research paper carries out information on how conflict happens in an institute and also taking proper steps to resolve them to bring a positive outcome. For this, now Adit will give you more information about our research through the methodology.
Hello everyone and welcome. As you can see, we researched a topic through questionnaire method, and the questions were made to see at what stage is conflict management in institutes. So here are the findings we got, and the answers were not what we expected. By that, we got to know how very much conflict management is needed in today's times. So to conclude our topic, educational institutes should develop leadership competences and give a mechanism is place to manage conflicts besides knowing when to intervene. Thank you.
Thank you. I now request Manish Sohanlal Jangit and Ajit Krishnakumar to present their papers.
Good morning to all. My name is Ajit
And my name is Manish Chagir.
and our topic is about business ethics. About our research, it is about ontology of business ethics. What is business ethics? Business ethics refers to the application of ethical principles and moral ideas when conducting business. Goals and objectives of business ethics. At individual level, a personal policy should be established not to misappropriate the properties of others or the organization. And in internal policy, the company should use ethical methods when interacting with employees and other stakeholders. And on societal level, business should prioritize social concerns such as non-discrimination and compassion for the underprivileged.
Ontology of business ethics. Meaning of ontology. Ontology is a set of beliefs about the nature, composition, and structure of reality of being. Embeddedness. The research in this field is constantly entangled in a conflict between freedom and limitations. Ethics is always an embedded ethics in economics action. It is embedded in institutional frameworks and organizations. Ambiguity. Ambiguity is a type of meaning in which a phrase, statement, or resolution is not defined explicitly. The ambiguity of key terminology is business ethics has implications for research strategy and technical decisions. Sensitivity. Ethical concerns are delicate since they reflect on our character and can have negativity effects. Most people would enjoy being recognized for acting ethically, whereas being labeled as unethical, that is dishonest. Conclusion. Business, like most human activities, is a human activity that has been and will continue to be judged morally. Organizational ethics requires value-based leadership from top managements, deliberate actions such as planning and implementing proper conduct standards, as well as transparency and continuous efforts to improve the organization's ethical performance.
Thank you. I now request Rishabh Purohit and Anurag Pujari to present their papers.
Good afternoon everyone present over here. I am Anurag Pujari and my partner Rishabh Purohit would like to present a few words on lack of motivation. The main objective of this presentation includes the various reasons where lack of motivation occurs and how we can deal with it. These are various outcomes of activities that would increase motivation in an individual. Introduction includes to understand our topic lack of motivation, we first need to understand what is motivation. Motivation was derived from Latin term move, meaning movement. Motivation is used to move people particularly accordingly to main objective of an organization. It can be used to strengthen the bond and unite people to move cooperatively to achieve a common objective. Scope includes it helps to increase productivity and effectiveness at workplaces. It helps the students to know what they want. It increases their interest in studies or other works. It helps to analyze the problems causing lack of motivation. Cause of lack of motivation includes fear plays a crucial role in an employee's career. Fear of losing an opportunity for growth, it requires motivation to come forward and start facing and tackling situations.
Hello everyone, now I am Rishabh and I will explain the methods to improve the motivation at workplaces. First method is to stay focused. To improve the motivation, it is necessary for employees to stay focused and it's the owner's duty to keep the employees focused. Next is making workplace enjoyable. As the owner, if the workers are working at boring places, they will get bored and they won't work properly. If the workplace is made enjoyable, they will also get motivated and work properly. Effects of lack of motivation. The effects of lack of motivation are productivity gets low. As the worker starts to get demotivated, they don't work properly and the production rate of a company gets low. Second is increase in mistakes. As the days goes by, worker getting demotivated, they tend to make mistakes and make loss for the company. Now the causes of lack of motivation in students. The first cause is students is no purpose in studying. Their interest has turned into obsessions. Boring teaching methods, favorable circumstances, burnouts, learning disabilities are some of the causes of lack of motivation among students. Why is motivation in education important? Motivation in education is important because it helps students to direct attention to a task that needs to be done, allows students to do tasks in shorter period, minimize distractions and resist them, affect how much information is retained and studied. It also influences the students to do task properly. Roles of teachers and parents in motivating students. Motivation is the driving force which makes students move towards their goals and direct and guides them. Imagine a student without any interest in studies or anything. They think it is useless to study. Some students might want to study but their family circumstances may not allow them to study. This ultimately affects their mental health and they lose rationality. They are also obsessed with things and also may go down the wrong path. They don't know the importance of studying, so it is the parents and teachers' duty to motivate them to study them so they know what's wrong and right for them. Students shouldn't think that studying is boring. Instead, they should be curious and it's teachers' job to make them curious and motivate to study. Now let's conclude our topic. From the result of this study, we conclude that lack of motivation can be awful if it's countered properly, whether it's students or workers. It doesn't matter. Lack of motivation can cause anyone to lose faith in themselves and make mistakes. And on a positive note, motivated workers, students are bound to do great. They won't lose their confidence and won't give in easily. To motivate someone, you don't need to be professional or something. You just have to say a few words to help them feel better. That's all.
Thank you. I now request Gaurav Khosla to present his papers.
My name is Gaurav Khosla. I'm professor at BAF Dept College. Here's my research paper on labor issues faced in industrial and private sector. Abstract. Labor is a person who helps with the physical work of an organization. Labor in a country face a lot of issues with the wages and them being underpaid. When we think about the word labor, it comes to mind as a person who does the groundwork in different sectors like factory building, various structures, and various other things. Introduction. By labor, it is meant the economic work of a man with every hand. Labor is the most important factor of production. A nation having plenty of fresh and labor force cannot attain economic development, prosperity, agriculture, industries, mining, transport system, trade activities, etc. All require sufficient and efficient workers for functioning. The research methodology. The collection of data is the most important aspect of any research. In order to collect the data, collected the data from various sources, internet articles from genuine platforms. Objectives, key questions. The key observation on the topic was on basis of these questions. Do you get paid enough wages by the amount of work? What are the major issues you face when you work for new organizations? What kind of discrimination you face in your everyday life? One of the question mentioned was a crucial part of my research. Main content. What are the issues that labor face in almost every day of their life? In almost every day of laborers' life, they face discrimination from various people, officials, normal citizens. They go through a whole day of working and still get underpaid. There is no guarantee if there is an injury. Organization will take care of them. They have to treat it from their own personal savings and no guarantee of work. If the senior officer is not satisfied with their work, they are sent off without prior notice. This shows that they don't have a guarantee of their jobs. Labor issues. Labor is a very difficult profession. It has been like that for several centuries and decades. It used to be more difficult for people in 18th century due to lack of machinery. All the work was majorly done by hand or with few tools. Characteristics. Labor play a really important role in day-to-day life. They need to be treated the right way. Sacrifice they make by coming away from the family and search for even after working days and nights, they don't make enough money to help people back in their hometown. They put their life at risk in every constructed buildings, roads, etc. Working at the extreme high temperatures in order to provide for themselves and their families. Suggestion. There are various organizations that offer contracts and also insurance to their labor, which ensures their job. Conclusion. As per the study presented, there are a lot of issues faced by the labor at this day. Not a lot of action is taken to make sure that this doesn't continue, but government and other organizations have come forward to help them by providing basic needs and medical aid. References. The Indian Journal of Labor Economics, an article Labor and Employment in India, 50-year perspective, the puzzle of jobless growth in Indian manufacturing, S. Balodra, survey methods conducted locally, shown from the research. The presentation was done by Thakur.
Thank you. I now request Man Dave and Sakshi Jabalia to present their papers.
Good afternoon everyone present over here. I am Mandave with my partner Sakshi Jobalia and we have conducted our research on the working conditions and their effects on mental health. Employee productivity is today's most important concern and it is influenced by the workplace in a variety of ways. The quality of the workplace plays an important role in influencing employees and their performance. Employee motivation, absenteeism, engagement with other workers, and job retention are all affected by how well individuals are connected to a business. The objectives of this research is to determine the impact of working conditions and their effects on mental health, and also to understand the relationship between the employee and their work environment. Effects of working conditions on workers. Poor work condition. One of the most crucial selling factors of office space is a clean and sanitary atmosphere. People's ability to focus on their tasks is hampered by poor hygiene standards, which lead to a negative outlook. This might have a negative impact on production and morale. Lack of recognition. Employees are more happier and more motivated when they realize their values and, more importantly, that their job is significant. Employees that are happy and motivated are also more productive. Unreasonable workload. A stressed workforce can have harmful effects on your organization. Your employees may lose their motivation and have difficulty completing their tasks. I further hand over this presentation to my partner Sakshi Jobalia.
Thank you, Iman. Now we will move on to another topic, that is workplace challenges faced by workers. First, unfair behavior. Inequality is becoming a wide topic. Workers are usually discriminated on the basis of their gender, skin color, and many more. Workers should instead be treated on the basis of their strengths and ability. The next one is bully. Every one of us are familiar with what bully means. They often bully who are underage or who is weaker. One should make a stand. If they are threatening you, report it to your supervisor. Next, employees being weak at technology. Employees in the workplace are always required to stay up with technological advancement. It might be difficult for elderly workers to keep up with modern technology. And the last one is workload. Employees suffer a great deal as a result of workload. Detrimental stress, emotional disorders are all signs and symptoms. Next topic. Effects of mental health on workers. Work performance. Stress is linked to worse organizational performance, lower work overall quality, a high error rate, and poor job quality and absence due to health issues. Staff attitude and behavior. Individuals with positive attitude can elevate their workers' spirits, while those with a bad attitude might bring them down. Mindset may always influence an employee's job performance as well as that of co-workers. Ways to deal with mental health. Reduce work-related risk. Help employees reduce anxiety and stress while improving focus and motivation. Encourage them to seek help from skilled psychiatrists. From this research, we conclude that workers' mental health is increasingly being recognized as an important determinant of their overall well-being, with poor mental health and job demands contributing to a variety of physical problems such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart attack. Psychological discomfort can lead to worker exhaustion, which has a significant influence on their capacity to contribute value in both their personal and professional life. Thank you.
Thank you. I now request Shweta Tarapara and Prince Thakur to present their papers.
Hearty welcome one and all present here. Today we are going to present a small presentation on a topic, sexual harassment at workplaces amongst women, which is prepared by me, Prince Thakur and Shweta Tarapara. Let's move on to the another slide, which is objectives. Objectives of the research is to find out the current scenario of sexual harassment at workplaces and the causes of sexual harassment and the why the voices of women are buried if they try to raise against the harassment. Next slide is about research. The research is about the concerning topic of sexual harassment at workplaces. As per the various studies and researches, one thing is clear that there is a new victim every day of sexual harassment. Our next slide is introduction. Introduction. According to Supreme Court of India, sexual harassment is unwelcome physical contact and advances which include unwanted and clear-cut sexual overtures, requests of sexual favors, and making sexual remarks, which are highly objectionable. Thank you. Now Shweta will continue the further presentation.
We generated a questionnaire online and distributed it amongst the women to record the responses, reviews, and suggestions. This was the primary stage of data collection, and the secondary stage of data collection is what we studied from responses and mentioned in the research. Main content includes the complete data analysis of the research, the frequency of the responses, as well as the data of incidents happened with the people, and also the suggestions and the ideas to stop sexual harassment at workplaces. After observation and complete analysis of research, one thing is clear that it's still happening in the country and there is a new victim every day who faces sexual harassment. As per the data collection, the awareness amongst women are high, which is 80%, and upcoming generations are well knowledgeable to tackle the situation if occur. Conclusion includes, as per observations and complete analysis, one thing is clear that somewhere it is still going and somewhere in the country, and many of them fail to raise the voices due to fear of losing status. Suggestions. Suggestions includes it ignore repeated vulgar jokes, keep eyes on unwanted touching or physical intimacy, do not answer inappropriate people.
Thank you. I now request Assistant Professor Shana Sheikh to present her papers. Thank you.